Let's give him a chance. Let's give him a chance with the play calling. You know you have an offensive line that isn't playing that well. So what do? Why not just play the short game so he can get the ball out of his hands very fast to run a competent goddamn offense? Outside of that, Shedeur has to be better in understanding that the offensive line that you're working with right now is not adequate.
This is straight up chaos with a corporate twist. And when billionaires start mixing with football, the drama hits harder than a blindside sack on Sunday. Can you imagine the NFL's CEO storming into the Browns' office basically telling the owner, "You're starting Shedeur Sanders"? No debate. That's wild. The Cleveland Browns are like that clumsy kid in gym class who keeps tripping over untied laces every single drill. Year after year, fans hype themselves up thinking maybe, just maybe, this team might finally run in a straight line, only to faceplant in front of the entire league again.
How do you feel about that? Do you feel like you belong here on this team?
Obviously, I think overall as a player, I feel like I put in the work. I feel like everything I do, I try to do it to my best, and that's all I ask for. So I feel like everybody feels like, they should be on the team, and if you ask anybody on the team, would they feel like they belong, in their own eyes. So I feel like I do, but I'm my own player, I think about myself in a high regard, of course. So it's not my decision.
It's almost an art form at this point. 2 decades of rotating quarterbacks like they're hosting auditions for America's next top interception thrower. So when reports leaked about the league stepping in, nobody was shocked. It felt destined. If any team needed a babysitter from the league's top boss, it's the same franchise that once convinced itself Johnny Manziel was the future superstar. Think about that. This is the Browns' legacy. Hype, collapse, repeat. And here's the kicker. The NFL is still a business, and businesses hate bad optics. The Browns are that one struggling franchise dragging down the Yelp reviews of a billion-dollar brand.
They're not conspiring to sabotage somebody who, by the way, would be great for the league. And he is great for the league because the league wants eyeballs on it. There is no reason they would be trying to conspire against him and sabotage him. He all goes on to say, I think he has a higher ceiling. He's a great playmaker. He was tremendously accurate. He has the feel when he's in the game and how to make the big plays. But just because you have the ceiling that's really high and the potential to be able to do that doesn't mean you could do that right now.
Sure, the NFL rakes in cash no matter what, but there's only so many sad dog pound reaction shots you can air before fans at home start wondering if this is football or a long-running comedy show. Enter Shedeur Sanders, the golden ticket, the shiny spark that could drag Cleveland kicking and screaming into the spotlight. This ain't just another rookie. We're talking about a storyline that looks ripped straight out of a Hollywood script. Because let's be real, if the NFL wanted the perfect main character, Shedeur fits it. He's not just a quarterback, he's Deion Sanders' son. Football royalty, born into the spotlight. His hype storm was so massive that every Colorado game turned into a 3-hour Sanders commercial. He's got charisma dripping off him, confidence that can fill a stadium, and highlight reels that spread across the internet like wildfire. Now compare that to Cleveland's usual quarterbacks, guys who flame out faster than TikTok trends. And it's no wonder the NFL's CEO was sweating in his suit, practically begging the Browns to hand him the keys. And the hilarious part, the Browns owner probably sat there like, wait a second, I own this team. But the league's top boss hit him back with a smirk, basically saying, that's cute, but ratings own you. And right now, Shedeur is the ratings. Picture the scene. A boardroom full of billionaires sipping overpriced bottled water, shuffling papers, while the CEO stares across the table with eyes blazing like he just binge-watched Jerry Springer for negotiation tips. He slams down the metaphorical playbook and basically shouts, "Enough is enough!" America doesn't want to see another Browns disaster. They want Shedeur on that field. At this point, you half expect Vince McMahon's theme music to blast through the speakers, pyros going off as the NFL turns into straight-up sports entertainment. And here's the thing, he's not wrong. The Browns have tried it all. Drafting quarterbacks, trading for quarterbacks, overpaying quarterbacks, and somehow every single time they still circle back to square one.
Somebody said it yesterday, Bull, and I'm surprised you didn't double down on this. I loved it. I was at home. I couldn't really speak like I want to, but you said, hey, if I'm the Browns, you take Travis Hunter. And guess what? If Shedeur Sanders falls below a certain position, you trade back up and you go take him too. I'll take both of them.
Yeah.
I mean, people say it's far-fetched, but if you're the Cleveland Browns, I mean, you've already said it's going to take a couple of years to get this thing back up and moving. My thing is, I want to get super uber.
Meanwhile, Shedeur carries that chosen one aura, the type of presence that makes TV networks drool. ESPN doesn't care about Cleveland's offensive line struggles. They care about those money shots of Deion Sanders sitting in the VIP box, shades on, smirking like he already knows the script. That's the image that sells, not sacks and 3 and outs, but a father-son dynasty moment that feels bigger than the game. But let's keep it real. This isn't just about football. This is about business, ratings, and the NFL flexing like it's always ahead of the culture. Because if the Browns fumble Shedeur's debut while other teams are cooking up viral TikToks, it's not just bad coaching, it's brand suicide. So when the CEO backed Cleveland's owner into a corner, it wasn't about X's and O's, it was about dollar signs, hashtags, and headlines. And those demands aren't just coming from fans. They're from shareholders, TV execs, and advertisers who see Shedeur as clicks, streams, and jerseys flying off shelves like hotcakes. Forget playbooks, this is capitalism and cleats. And poor Browns fans, they're trapped in the middle again, watching their team get turned into a business chess piece instead of a football squad. So the image of the NFL's CEO storming into Cleveland's offices to push Shedeur into the lineup?
Thomas. I love Joe T. And I know that Joe T is in Cleveland. He's out there. He's amongst the people. So he knows the pulse a little bit. And for me, I think it's more of the managers, the general manager, the owners and things trying to just chill the noise. They understand that they have Shedeur. They're just really trying to start Joe Flacco right now because he's just a consecutive vet. You know what you're going to get.
That just feels like another Tuesday in the 216. Because Shedeur Sanders isn't just a quarterback, he's a walking marketing campaign disguised as an athlete. He doesn't just arrive at games, he struts in like the tunnel is his personal runway. Gold chains glistening, luxury rides parked outside, designer shades covering that unshakable smirk. He makes Broadway Joe Namath look like he was bargain shopping at Kmart back in the day. And the NFL, they devour every second of it. Because here's the ugly truth. The league doesn't want another faceless game manager putting up 175 yards and a pity touchdown every Sunday. That's stale. That's boring. That's Cincinnati in the 90s. What the NFL craves is drama, flash, and a quarterback who trends on Twitter before he even throws his first pass. And Shedeur? He looks like he was built in a lab to be the league's new headline machine. He's got the family legacy, he's got the swagger, and he's got the type of Instagram game where one post can send every sports outlet into a frenzy, scrambling to slap a breaking news banner on it.
Shedeur, we talk oftentimes about quarterback being the most important position in the sport. We obviously spent a lot of time with Shedeur throughout the process. He's highly accurate, can play well from the pocket. Very productive college career, and we felt like it wasn't necessarily the plan going into the weekend to select 2 quarterbacks, but as we talk about, we do believe in best player available. We do believe in positional value, and we didn't necessarily expect him to be available in the in the 5th round, and so we love at.
When's the last time Cleveland had someone like that? The truth, never. The closest they came was Baker Mayfield filming insurance commercials while still trying to figure out how to complete a 5-yard slant. And then there's Deion, Coach Prime himself. The NFL knows the deal. Wherever Shedeur goes, Deion follows. And that's a built-in storyline money can't buy. This is exactly why the league's CEO supposedly blew his top, because to him, this isn't about Shedeur learning schemes or waiting his turn. Forget all that. Shedeur is the scheme. Development, toss it out the window. Throw him on the field and let the ratings pour in. The wild part? The kid could fumble 3 snaps in a row and ESPN would still cut together highlight reels with slow-mo shots and dramatic music like he just reinvented the entire sport. That's the level of hype we're talking about. But here's where it gets downright hilarious. Cleveland's owner isn't the type to roll over. Billionaires hate being told what to do, especially by other billionaires. It's like telling a cat where it's allowed to sit. You can bet they'll do the exact opposite just to flex. So now you've got the CEO pounding the table yelling, "Play Shedeur," while fans are chanting for him in the streets. And the owner's probably mumbling under his breath, "Not if it makes you smile."
The league decided it didn't like how Shedeur interviewed. He said some things he should not have said, and he will tell you that to this day. I got a little carried away. But he's as tough a kid, tough a quarterback as I've ever seen. His arm is at least as good as Brady's. It's Brady-esque.
You guys act like a 5th-round pick is a punishment.
Okay.
It's not. It's an opportunity. I've never seen anybody talk this much about a 5th-round pick, ever.
Because he's not a real 5th-round pick. That show you right there. I wish we could have the owners here and, you know what I'm saying, get them real liquored up. I might spill the beans.
And you know who's sitting back grinning ear to ear at this circus? The networks Fox, ESPN, CBS. They're all circling like vultures, waiting to feast on the chaos. Because let's be real, a power struggle between the NFL's CEO and the Browns owner isn't just football, it's straight up reality TV with helmets and shoulder pads. You can already hear the trailers being pitched in some boardroom. From chaos to kickoff, the battle for Shedeur. Meanwhile, the Browns' current quarterbacks have to be sweating bullets, probably pacing around, Googling how to politely request a trade. Imagine walking into practice only to realize the league itself doesn't want you. It's like your boss dragging the company's CEO to your cubicle just to announce, "Yeah, you're irrelevant." That's cold-blooded, but the NFL, they don't blink at stuff like that because to them, Shedeur isn't just a rookie. He's a walking goldmine.
Sanders strained an oblique throwing Wednesday morning, according to the team, and was held out of first day of joint practices with the Eagles. Sanders is considered day-to-day, won't practice today, and likely to play in the preseason game versus the Eagles Saturday. His injury is the latest in a string of ailments that have impacted the Browns' quarterback room. S.A., I'll start with you. What does this injury mean for Shedeur?
Well, to me, it's a setback. Just my personal opinion, not a negative against him in any way, but I thought the momentum from his performance against the Carolina Panthers was something that he was going to be able to ride, even when he was still left as number 4.
And the league isn't about to let something as boring as team autonomy ruin the ratings machine. This is the same NFL that once tried to ban touchdown dances because they thought celebrations were too fun. If they'd crack down on joy, what makes you think they wouldn't strong-arm a struggling franchise just to chase TV numbers? Please. And the irony here? It's rich. The Cleveland Browns, a team famous for messing things up all on their own, now have the league's CEO stepping in like, "You're so bad at this, I've got to run the show myself." That's not just embarrassing, it's historic. It's like your boss suddenly deciding you can't even be trusted to staple papers right, so they shove you out the chair and take over your desk. Humiliating? Absolutely. But when it comes to Cleveland, it's almost expected. And now here we are, Shedeur Sanders riding a hype train bigger than the next Marvel blockbuster, the NFL's CEO desperate to turn the Browns into must-watch primetime, and an owner who probably wants to crawl under his desk every time his phone buzzes. Picture it, the Browns owner sitting smug, sipping a drink that costs more than most people's mortgage payments. Then storming in comes the NFL's CEO, face red, walking fast like he just binge-watched Shark Tank and thinks he's the ultimate deal maker. The vibe? Total chaos in an expensive boardroom, but the message couldn't be clear. The NFL doesn't just want Shedeur on the field, they need him there. He's their ticket to younger fans, viral clips, and sponsors drooling for attention.
Browns is the Browns. This is the most hype they've ever had. Like, it's the Browns.
Exactly.
So, he got drafted to the wrong team. that Sanders name, I'm telling you right now, there's only one person that understands business, and he will trade his quarterback for Sanders. Dallas is where Sanders is gonna be.
Wow.
Because that name on the back of that jersey is legacy, and he's gonna want that to ring bells around the globe. Jerry is gonna have him.
You just And the Browns owner? Oh, he's not budging. Billionaires don't take orders. They give them. He probably leans back, adjusts his cufflinks, and mutters something smug like, I bought this team so I could ruin it my way. Meanwhile, the CEO is pacing like a frustrated dad at Chuck E. Cheese, ranting about sponsors, ratings, and how Shedeur is the golden key to unlock the TikTok generation. At this point, you half expect the CEO to whip out pie charts and bar graphs proving Shedeur's Instagram engagement is higher than the Browns' entire offense combined. Picture him projecting a giant PowerPoint slide that screams in bold letters, "This kid prints money." Meanwhile, the Browns owner is probably leaning back, doodling on a cocktail napkin, pretending to care while quietly fuming. Of course, Cleveland's owner only digs his heels in deeper. But here's the kicker. While they're fighting over his future, Shedeur is probably nowhere near the building. He's chilling with his jewelry collection, posting cryptic tweets that send the sports media into meltdown mode. He doesn't even have to be in the room. The hype alone is carrying the whole storyline like it's on autopilot. Meanwhile, fans start catching wind of the rumors and social media detonates. Twitter floods with memes of the Browns logo wearing shades, TikTok edits of Shedeur's highlights set to dramatic theme music, and Facebook posts from bitter Cleveland uncles saying, "This kid better save us or I'm moving to Cincinnati." Suddenly,
as to why that is. What a Kenny Pickett, what a Dylan Gabriel, both hampered, right? Joe Flacco was a given. We understand where he's at this point in time in his career and what he means to the Browns. He's their security blanket who would probably start at the start of the season because he's your QB1 for the moment. But we looked at Shedeur Sanders, and then I'm thinking about, okay, you got joint practices with the Eagles, and then you got a game this Saturday night against the Eagles. And if you're going up against the reigning defending Super Bowl champions, whether it's against a second or a third unit, but you look as good, if not better, than you did against the Carolina Panthers last weekend, that would be something that would really be good for him. The fact that he's now hurt and he's not going to be able to play in all likelihood this weekend, to me, is a setback in that regard. Again, not a negative, fellas. It's just that I thought momentum was in his favor coming into this weekend, and now that has been...
What started as a closed-door argument turns into a full-blown national spectacle. And sure, you'd think the NFL would try to bury something like this. But come on, this is Cleveland. Leaks here spread faster than the Browns blowing a fourth-quarter lead. By the time the shouting match ends, every sports talk show in America is already screaming about it. And the big debate takes over. Should the NFL really have this kind of power? Is it fair to shove a rookie into the spotlight before he even takes his first snap? And here's the million-dollar question. Will this circus actually make the Browns fun for once? Because for all the hype and chaos, nobody actually knows if Shedeur can survive behind Cleveland's offensive line without getting folded in half like a cheap lawn chair. But honestly, that's not even the point. The point is spectacle, and the NFL CEO knows it better than anyone. Cleveland might not win games, but with Shedeur, they'll win headlines. And in today's league, sometimes that's worth more than the scoreboard. The second whispers leaked that the NFL's top boss cornered the Browns owner and demanded Shedeur take the field. The entire football world detonated. Forget actual highlights or injury updates, this instantly became the story. Sports shows that usually waste half their airtime debating chicken wing flavors suddenly turned into panels of grown adults screaming about league interference like it was Watergate and helmets.
They're sending Shedeur up to fail.
We go!
Check it out. Yesterday it was announced that Shedeur Sanders will be the starter versus the Carolina Panthers Friday night, but people have a theory that they're really setting him up to fail. And this all started when Louis Riddick said this a couple days ago.
I'm afraid he's going to get on the field in preseason games without a lot of practice reps. and then they're going to ask him to perform these heroic tasks in order to prove that he's worthy of being a starter when he hasn't had enough reps to really get comfortable. That's the kind of battle he's dealing with right now. I know. I've seen it. Dom, you've seen it. We've been in these camps. We know how that goes.
Meanwhile, the other half of analysts just sighed, saying they'd seen this movie before, and the ending always came with heartbreak and cold beers in the parking lot. And outside Cleveland, oh, the reactions were savage. Rival fans piled on, clowning the Browns for being so hopeless that the league's CEO had to step in and babysit them. Social media lit up with mockery, rival cities cracking jokes like, "Only Cleveland needs training wheels on their franchise." For once, the Browns weren't just losing, they were trending worldwide. And the locker room? Oh man, that place turned into a full-blown soap opera overnight. Imagine being the Browns' starting quarterback, sweating through training camp, grinding film sessions, memorizing plays, only to wake up to headlines blasting, "The league wants you benched for a rookie who hasn't even played a snap." That's not motivation. That's humiliation with cleats strapped on. You can bet those poor quarterbacks were side-eyeing Shedeur at practice, shooting daggers across the field while secretly Googling how to become a free agent mid-season. And here's the wild twist. The controversy didn't hurt the NFL one bit. It supercharged it. Ratings projections shot through the roof, and Shedeur-themed Browns gear started flying off shelves before he even touched the turf. And isn't that the whole point?
But I'm going to answer this question by saying Shedeur Sanders. And I'm going to tell you why. I think he's being set up to fail. That's right, I'm going to say it.
Okay.
Here we are on national television, right? There's been 11 practices, if I remember correctly. He's been starting against he's been playing against the third unit. He's fourth on the depth chart. And then suddenly you throw him into the start lineup, and he hasn't had any reps with the first team at all. Think about that. So you're just gonna throw him to the wolves like that, huh? I mean, you know, if he had first team snaps in practice, I don't say that, but he doesn't. And then all of a sudden, he's starting tomorrow night. It's like you want him to fail. I'm not accusing the coaches of doing this. I'm not accusing the GM of doing this. But that owner, Mr. Haslam, that's a different animal right there.
The NFL cracked the code a long time ago. This isn't just sports. It's reality TV and shoulder pads. Every season comes with its own villains, heroes, scandals, and redemption arcs. The Patriots had Deflategate. The Raiders had Antonio Brown's helmet meltdown. And now the Browns have the CEO barging in like a corporate Batman, demanding they unleash the Golden Boy. It's ridiculous. It's over the top. And it's exactly why fans can't look away. Because deep down, people don't just want football. They want drama. They want stories. They want something to laugh at, argue about, and obsess over like it's a primetime series. And Shedeur Sanders, with his hype, swagger, and built-in celebrity baggage, delivers that in spades. He's not just a rookie, he's the plot twist the NFL was waiting for. How much power does the league really have? If the CEO can allegedly pressure a team to play one guy, what's next? Are we headed toward the NFL assigning quarterbacks like it's fantasy football or scripting endings like it's WWE? Just picture Roger Goodell stepping up to a podium and announcing, "This year for ratings, the Browns are winning the Super Bowl." At this point, would anyone even blink? Probably not. And the Browns, they're right back in their usual spot, wedged between desperation and delusion. A franchise so hilariously cursed that their big break might actually come from a corporate exec storming in and forcing their hand. It's tragic, it's comedic, and honestly, it's the most Cleveland storyline imaginable. Because at the end of the day, the NFL doesn't actually need the Browns to win championships. It just needs them to matter. And now, thanks to Shedeur Sanders, the endless hype machine, and a CEO with zero chill, Cleveland finally does matter, for better or worse. If you made it this far, I can't wait to hear what you think. Do you believe the league is really pulling strings? Or is this just smoke and mirrors? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget, hit that like button, subscribe, and share this video with your friends. I'll see you on the next one.